Hello. So, today we're doing something a little different than my normal content, but I thought it'd be valuable to people, so I wanted to do it. We're going to be doing a state of the metagame, where basically I'm going to go through the top Pokemon that have been used so far this season, kind of... Oh, too loud. Talk about kind of how they've been used, the recent trends, whether I think the Pokemon is trending up or down, and then, yeah, basically how I think these Pokemon kind of fit in the metagame. Now that we're going into two big events the next 2 weekends, this upcoming weekend is Australia Internationals, which I really want to win, but the problem is I'm not going, so we'll see how it goes. And then the weekend after that is Collinsville, which is a regional in the US. There may be European regionals around this time as well. I'm not actually positive about that. But yeah, so yeah, the site that I'm using here is vgcstats.com, so if you're interested in seeing that, you can check it out, vgcstats.com, great resource. So let's just go ahead and talk about what we're seeing. So the first thing we have to talk about with regards to the metagame is Togekiss. Togekiss feels kind of like public enemy number 1 right now. There's 2 reasons for that. So initially the format started off and people realized Togekiss was one of the best supporting Pokemon because it gets Follow Me, which is a very good support move, and it gets Helping Hand, excuse me, and it gets Yawn, and it gets Dazzling Gleam, and it's just other moves. Dazzling Gleam, Air Slash, Flamethrower, Heat Wave are all good as well. Togekiss is extremely hard to remove, and it's become even more dangerous because in addition to the regular support Togekiss, people have started running Super Luck offensive Togekiss. Super Luck raises your crit ratio to 1 out of 8 attacks, critting, and as if that weren't high enough, a lot of people are giving it Scope Lens, which raises it to 50% crit rate. 1 out of every 2 moves, in theory, should crit. So, that basically gives Togekiss a choice specs boost while still being able to switch moves half of the time, and ignores Snarl drops and things like that. It's being paired pretty often with fake tiers Pokemon like Whimsicott and Grimmsnarl, mainly Grimmsnarl actually, and it runs normally offensive moves, and it's a very good Dynamax Pokemon, offensive Togekiss, because its flying type Stab raises it and its partner's speed stat, so it's actually pretty threatening in my opinion. So that's, yeah, for those 2 sets, Togekiss is one of the best Pokemon, if not the best Pokemon in the metagame right now, and it feels like the Pokemon to beat. Like, you have to know what you're doing against Togekiss when you go into a tournament, or else you're gonna have a bad time. Number 2 is Dragapult. So I'm actually really surprised to see Dragapult up this high. Maybe these stats are a little outdated, or maybe not. But Dragapult is a Pokemon that got a lot of hype at the beginning of the format, but feels like it's kind of died down a little bit. The reason for that is that, in my opinion, Dragapult feels, when I'm using it at least, it feels like it needs to Dynamax in order to be good, and you don't always want that because there's, most teams have several Pokemon they want to Dynamax. It also has a bad Duraludon matchup, which is trending up in my opinion. But there are interesting things you can do with Dragapult. At first, we were seeing a lot of Life Orb physical. Shomo Hanami got second at the Onaga Victory Road World Champ Invitational with just a physical Life Orb Dragapult paired with Togekiss. It's a powerful combination, launches really strong moves. For some reason, I think just like I'm actually not entirely sure why, but this Dragapult just feels like it's on the decline. Some people are using Special Dragapult, which I think is an interesting innovation. Dragapult is stronger physically, but it at least doesn't need to rely on Phantom Force and Dragon Darts if it's special. So, yeah, I think Dragapult is trending down. I would not put it at number 2 currently, but it's still a good Pokemon, still expected to make some waves. You have to know what you're doing against it. And Arcanine is number 3. I'll probably just talk for like do top 10, maybe top 15. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe top 20. Arcanine is a Pokemon I'm also very surprised to see this high. I think Arcanine may have had some, like, it was an easy pick at the beginning of the format, but I feel like people are realizing that Intimidate is not as useful as it was in past formats. And I can't exactly explain why that is, but that's just how it feels to me. And I've been saying this for a while now. So I don't think Arcanine is anywhere near number 3. It's probably still top 10, but even that, I honestly am not sure if it's top 10 at this point in the format, in my opinion. But obviously it's number 3. I am feeling like I'm seeing less Arcanine as we get closer to these big tournaments. But it's a very good Pokemon. There was some Assaultless Arcanine that popped up at Dallas. Dallas is a big thing we have to consider. So Assaultless Arcanine popped up at Dallas with both Snarl and Bulldoze sometimes. Bulldoze offering a form of speed control, not the best form, and Snarl being good to pair with Intimidate just to lower opponent's stats. So Arcanine's a good Pokemon for sure, but I don't expect it to be number 3 in usage by the end of these events for sure. Number 4 is Whimsicott. So I feel like Whimsicott is on its way up or pretty high in overall standing and how people are feeling about it and just how good it is. People have started adapting to Whimsicott, which I think is hurting a little bit, but I think Whimsicott also has room to adapt. On almost every Whimsicott, you're going to want Tailwind. The reason for that is that Tailwind got a huge boost in this generation, which I've talked about a bit. activating or applying speed changes immediately, which is really nice. And for that reason, Whimsicott's probably the best Tailwind setter in the format. So, yeah, that's one of the main reasons that makes Whimsicott good. On Whimsicott, you expect to see Moonblast, Tailwind, Fake Tears, Energy Ball, Charm, Encore, Protect. Like, it has a lot of move options. You can run Trick Room if you want. And the move choice, Whimsicott is typically Focus Sash, though there have been some bulkier Babbery Berry Whimsicotts popping up as well, which I know can be useful and interesting to people. So, yeah, I think Whimsicott's a really good Pokemon. I expect it to have a lot of play these weekends. It's a great Pokemon, honestly, and it's very hard to stop Whimsicott from getting Prankster Tailwind up on the field. So, yeah. Next up, we have Duraludon. So, Duraludon is a Pokemon that I think is pretty good. It did obviously, it won Dallas Regionals, had a strong showing. Its ability to ignore both Redirection and Ally Switch is really valuable. We talked about Togekiss being the #1 Pokemon of the format, and for that reason, I think Duraludon is very good, because it ignores Togekiss's Follow Me. It also smacks it pretty hard with Flash Cannon, or Max Flash Cannon. So I like Duraludon a lot. I think it's a very strong Pokemon, but yeah, it's tough to use. Its stats leave a lot to be desired. It's somewhat fast for the format. It's not super fast overall, but for the format, it's not the slowest thing. It has good stabs. Both of its stabs effectively weaken the opponent's physical attacks. One raises your defense, one boosts your... one raises your defense, one lowers the opponent's attack stat. But the extremely low special attack stat, the low base HP, and the mediocre special attack stat, the low special defense, super low special defense, low HP, and mediocre special attack, it leaves a lot to be desired, and it's, I don't know, like, its ability and typing are really good, and its stats are pretty bad. It also is missing, like, some moves that I would like a fire coverage move or a flying coverage move. I understand why it doesn't have them. It would be probably broken if it did, but yeah, it definitely, it's not a perfect Pokemon, and it oftentimes finds itself wanting to Dynamax. So I think Duraludon is going to get some usage, but I'm not sure if I don't know if it'll pick up a win at either of these events. I could see it happening, I could see it not happening, so we'll see. There's also other Steel types in the format that are trending up, I think, so we can talk about those as well in a second. But yeah, for Duraludon, Life Orb is used a lot. I've seen some Weakness Policy. I know Assault Vest. Those are kind of the big three on Duraludon, if you see one that you can expect. And in terms of moves, Flash Cannon, Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse or Snarl, Solar Beam, Body Press, Steel Beam. Those are all moves that are used. Protect, obviously. Doesn't normally run supporting moves. Next up, Excadrill at number 6. So Excadrill, I think, was the initial Steel type in the format. It was the first thing that people jumped to. I think it's still a very good Pokemon. It could definitely... I would not be surprised to see an Excadrill win in either of these tournaments. So for that reason, I feel like Excadrill started out as like top mon of the format, and then it started to trend down a little bit. Now I feel like it's trending up again. That's just my personal opinion. So Excadrill is very, very, very good because of its speed, being able to be doubled in sand, and it has amazing stabs for max moves, with ground boosting your special defense and steel boosting your defense. So it's a really good Pokemon. It has both offense and defense when you Dynamax it, and it offers offense anyway. It has a lot of items it can work with. It can set up its own speed control using Max Rockfall to activate the sand for itself. It also has Mold Breaker, which is an amazing ability. So, yeah, Excadrill's a really good Pokemon, and I expect to see it get a lot of usage, in terms of Steel types at least. Rhyperior, primarily used on Trick Room teams, very good Pokemon. It's similar to Torkoal, who's down there as well. Rhyperior and Torkoal kind of are jumping out as the best Trick Room abusers at the moment. Pokemon that you know, you pretty much have a set strategy with Trick Room around, and they take advantage of that. Rhyperior uses the Weakness Policy most of the time, though there are some fast Life Orb variants as well that I've seen, or slow Life Orb variants as well. Other items could work as well. You could, in theory, run Lumberry, but yeah, Rhyperior just hits very hard under Trick Room and has great bulk with Solid Rock, and both of its stabs effectively boosted special defense, with Rock setting the Sandstorm, which raises Rock-type special defense, and Ground Fit actually boosting your special defense. So yeah, Rhyperior normally runs Rock, Ground, Fire, Fighting I've seen, could run Steel, doesn't really run it that often, or just another setup move. Like, I think Shoma had Swords Dance, or Substitute, I think it was Swords Dance on his Rhyperior. Gyarados is trending way down. I do not expect to see many Gyarados at all. Gyarados, for a moment, I genuinely thought might be the best Pokemon in the format. I've changed my mind. It's really not. It's really, really not. So, Gyarados is trending down. It is weak to Intimidate. It's not that fast. It really needs to Dynamax to be good. I just don't love Gyarados right now. It has good coverage moves, but and it has good max moves, but it just feels like if it's not Dynamax, it's not as threatening. And yeah, I mean, Gyarados definitely could do well, and I don't think Gyarados is done for the format, but I don't think it's nearly as strong as number 8 on this list here. Gastrodon, this is probably Gastrodon's best format, which is unfortunate because I don't like Gastrodon as a Pokemon, but this is the first time it feels like it might actually be decent rather than just like a gimmick, so, yeah, I don't know, Gastrodon, it's interesting. It's a Pokemon that can Dynamax, it's a Pokemon that can not Dynamax. It goes both ways. Yeah, I don't love Gastrodon personally, but I do, like I said, I do think this is a good format for it. It mostly runs ground and water moves. Recover, I've seen Protect. I actually think Protect is not bad on Gastrodon. It runs Ice Beam sometimes. I'm not sure if it gets Icy Wind. Occasionally you'll see an offensive Gastrodon, but for the most part they're kind of like middling bulk, like just there to be, like stick around and be annoying and get in your way, Scald, Muddy Water, that kind of thing. So, I think Gastrodon is not number 9, probably, if I had to guess, but probably top 20 if I had to say. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating like where things should fall. Tyranitar number 10 I think is too low. Tyranitar's trending up. I don't personally love Tyranitar this format so far. I haven't fallen in love with it, but I would say that Tyranitar, especially given Excadrill, how good Excadrill is, and how Tyranitar really naturally supports Excadrill well by giving it the sand, I think Tyranitar is trending upwards. I think Tyranitar usage is increasing. It has a nice amount of CP right now, but it'll definitely increase by the end of these weekends. Would not be surprised at all to see a Tyranitar win. Tyranitar is nice also because Vanillix has been kind of on the up, and Torkoal is, as you can see, a very good Pokemon, has gotten a lot of points, and Tyranitar naturally is a very good counter to those, so it's a good defensive Pokemon, amazing stats, good typing, a lot of weaknesses, like good, its typing is like, it gives it a lot of weaknesses, but that allows it to take advantage of the weakness policy because it's so easy to proc, and it's so bulky naturally, and very strong as well, and it's actually not even that slow for this format, so, yeah, I think Tyranitar's on the up. I think Tyranitar should do pretty well in this thing. It has good coverage moves. Mostly, you kind of feel locked in sometimes because you normally run Rock, Dark, Protect, and then a Fighting move, or that's your coverage move, but you can do some interesting things, I think, with Tyranitar. It gets Dragon Dance, it gets Rock Polish, it gets Curse, so it has setup options as well. But for the most part, people are just running 3 attacks weakness policy, it looks like right now, but there's tons of room for innovation, so I think Tyranitar's cool. Yeah. Something that is not really... So I'm actually curious, so Conkeldurr is a Pokemon that isn't really on this list for some reason. It's actually... Either I've missed it or I'm not entirely sure where Conkeldurr is. Something must have happened. Yeah, so I think this list is a bit outdated, but that's fine. I know Zach has a lot going on. So I actually don't even see Conkeldurr on this list. Okay, Conkeldurr is number 25 right now. Did I miss it? Did I just scroll past it? Ah, I did. It was right here. Okay, so Conkeldurr is trending extremely up. Conkeldurr is something that should be way higher than... Conkeldurr should be top 10 for sure. After it won Dallas Regionals for sure. So Conkeldurr increasing makes Tyranitar worse, but Indeedee can support it. I don't know where Indeedee is in here, but Indeedee is on the up. Chandelure is way up as well. I'll scroll through... Actually, okay, let me finish top 15 and then I'll do top 20 and then I'll go through the rest. So I'm going to go really quickly through this last one. Snorlax is trending down. Snorlax, the nerf to pinch berries hurts it a lot. The Gmax is a huge buff for it, but the nerf to pinch berries, those berries that used to restore 50% of your health and now restore 33%, for Snorlax it eats it at the 50% mark, but the health loss is actually pretty significant, so I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. So I think Snorlax is trending down, but a good Snorlax team can always do well and win a tournament, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Snorlax do well, but I don't think, it doesn't feel like the odds are really in Snorlax's favor right now. Torkoal, 12 feels about fair. It's used almost exclusively on Trick Room teams. You don't really have Torkoal if you're not running a Trick Room team. Yeah, it's a very great offensive Pokemon, but it requires support. You need to get into the right position, and then you can go from there. Yeah. It's not something that can function on its own. Charizard's trending up. I don't know, but I think 13 actually feels kind of fair for Charizard. It might be top 10 thanks to its Gmax form winning Dallas Regionals with Aaron Trailer. Charizard has a lot of things it can do. I love the Gmax form, obviously. I used it at Dallas. I think it's very good, and I think other people are realizing how broken Gmax Wildfire is, so I would not be surprised at all to see another Charizard win, though I think now that people are more prepared for it, it'll be a little harder, but we'll have to see. I don't know. Well, anything could happen. So, yeah. Dracovish is trending down, unfortunately. There's been almost no Dracovish teams that I've seen do well recently. It's just a hard Pokemon to use, and it's very powerful, obviously, and I love Dracovish, but it's a hard Pokemon to use because, kind of similar to Torkoal, it needs speed control to be good, to be doing its best, I should say. And so, a Dracovish team could destroy everybody, no doubt, but no one's really found that yet. Rotom Cunt, I'm actually surprised to see above the other Rotoms, but 15 feels about fair for the Rotom, 15, 18 for the Rotom forms. Yeah, they're good Pokemon. I don't know. I feel like the Rotoms have been underperforming based on what I expected. I feel like they're trending up. Don't quote me on that, but I think the Rotoms are bound for a good finish soon. And now Grimmsnarl. So this is actually how I know this listed out of date. Grimmsnarl is trending way up. This is a top 10, top 8, probably top 5 Pokemon right now. Grimmsnarl is just taking off. People originally were just running it with screens. Now they've stopped running screens and have started running Fake Out, Fake Tears, Thunder Wave. They've started running Spirit Break over Foul Play. I've seen some Darkest Lariat as well. Great Pokemon, really, really strong. It's like an amazing support Pokemon. Prankster Thunder Wave is stupid. I'm just going to say it. It's a stupid, stupid thing. And Prankster Fake Tears is really good. Fake Out is also, you know, I was talking about Whimsicott trending down. Or, not trending down, but people running, like, counters to Whimsicott. Fake Out Grimmsnarl is a great Whimsicott counter because you get to double up on Whimsicott before it can set Prankster Tailwind. So that's, I think, part of the... I think Whimsicott's usage is boosting Grimmsnarl's usage as well. Grimmsnarl should be way higher than 16. Mimikyu, not really relevant right now. You see it sometimes, but shouldn't be top 20 in my opinion. Rotom Wash, like, this is probably fair for it. I don't know. Rotom Wash doesn't feel like it's, like, super great right now. But actually, you know what? I've seen some cool Rotom Wash teams in the ladder, so I'm gonna say Rotom Wash is trending up. Hatterene, top 20 is probably fair for it. Like, I don't know. Hatterene, like, was super good, like, week 1, and then people started running Duraludon. And, like, you can't even survive Durant without the Babbery Berry. So, like, or with the Babbery Berry, you still don't even survive, like, for Durant. So, or maybe they need Helping Hand, but I don't know. Like, Hatterene is on the way down. And Dusclops should be way up. I think Dusclops top 15, maybe probably not top 10, but pretty close to it. It's an amazing Trick Room setter, and it's pretty tough to stop from setting Trick Room without Taunt. So, it's like impossible to stop from setting Trick Room without Taunt or Sleep Powder or your Imprison or something. So, I would say Dusclops is maybe, like, really good. Should be higher than number 20, but it doesn't have much damage output. It relies a lot on its partner. It normally uses Bulldoze to activate Rhyperio's Weakness Policy or Memento to get Torkoal in for free. That's not that common, but it has been used at one tournament. So, Nightshade, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, those are all good options. I'm just quickly going to go through the rest of these and say any that I think jump out at me as being too low. But Mudsdale and Bravia are probably about here, like, just out of top 20. Maybe, like, these, like, one of these should be in over Mimikyu, maybe, over Dracovish. Maybe these are probably top 20 Pokemon, but, yeah. They don't feel that strong to me, in my opinion. Ferrothorn is, maybe it could be good, but, I don't know, I never liked Ferrothorn. Hydreigon, nah. Conglor, we talked about, should be way up. Darmanitan is trending up, for sure. Seijin won the World Champ Invitational with it, and doesn't really feel like people have touched it since then. Or pretty much ever, so I don't know. I think Darmanitan could do well. Bronzong, yeah, this is fair, probably. Ludicolo, probably fair. Chandelure, trending way up. Indeedee, trending up. And Chandelure is, like, top 15 right now in terms of what I expect in terms of usage. Just because, like, I don't know, it's good against a lot of, like, it's very good against Charizard, it's good against Trick Room Pokemon. Jellison, oh, we have to talk about Jellison. Jellison should be way higher than this. Jellison is very good right now, or is being perceived as very good. Yeah, Jellison's top 20, top 15. I'd put Jellison top 10 on my personal list in terms of what I expect in terms of usage, in terms of, but yeah, Jellison should be way up, and I think Chandelure is rising a bit to counter that. Indeedee's rising as well, I think a little bit. Maybe not top 20, but pretty close to it if it's not top 20. Gothitelle, whatever. Corviknight, whatever. And now we're getting into kind of like some of the weird mons. So Rotomage I think should be higher. Oh, yeah, this is a huge mistake. This thing is top 15 or top 10 for sure. Durant is taking off right now. I'm seeing Durant everywhere. So Durant just hits incredibly hard thanks to Hustle and Dynamax and Life Orb. It does like so much damage. It's stupid. So, yeah, Durant should be way up there. Top 15 or top 10 in terms of usage. Why does your Arcanine have a hurt box? Why do you see this? Why is it red? Other Pokemon. Inteleon should be way higher than this, in my opinion. Gengar, I think, is trending up. I think Goodra is trending up. Mandibuzz could be good, but isn't really getting much usage. Savali might have a finish. I think Savali has like a couple cool gimmicks it can use, so I think Savali could have a finish sometime soon. But in terms of general usage, like, it's not that common. It's probably like more common than Rhydon and like Machamp and Shiinotic. Maybe not though. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything else worth talking about here. Reuniclus is good. I know Kareem used that at Dallas Regionals. Escavalier, I think, is good. Indeedee Male is actually slept on in my opinion, but yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So this is obviously outdated. I know Zach is super busy, so this is, yeah, that's probably the reason for that. I'm sure he'll have it up soon, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful in some regard in terms of what to expect at the current metagame. I can do this periodically throughout the season if you're interested. I can do it. I mean, Incineroar coming out is going to change everything, so yeah, expect Incineroar to be near the top of this the next time I do it. But yeah, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more of it, let me know. I'm happy to do it. It's interesting to me. I hope it was useful. If you have any feedback for how I could do better, I know this was a little all over the place, but I kind of just wanted to give like a couple bullet points on each Pokemon. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.